What's up, big dogs? Ladies and gentlemen, part-time employed, unemployed, full-time employed, dead-end employed, and last year students and graduates, I congratulate you for your consistency and for your bravery to come back for round 2 of your journey towards securing or starting a nice career here in the UK through a graduate program. I guarantee your loyalty will soon pay off, because if it doesn't, then that means my advice is cringe and I don't want that. XD! Today is all about creating a nice CV and an accompanying cover letter. First of all, let's delve into CVs. You're probably looking at this video after seeing other industry professionals and recruiters that were also creating videos on YouTube. And I will be presenting some advice that's quite different from them. While many of them are recommending you to ultra tailor your CV for each and every type of job, I think that nowadays, considering the context of the job market and our context of graduates who have little to no experience, that's a little bit unfeasible. And why, do you ask? Because tip number 1, apply en masse. I haven't heard people who have obtained a job with less than 100 applications. I've heard people who have applied to more than 300 and haven't obtained anything. It's quite bad out there. Even if you have work experience such as a placement, you need to create a CV that is quite general. Therefore, if you're applying, let's say, to graduate programs, then find the platforms that these programs are on. By the way, check the latest video if you want to see my opinion on all the best platforms. Read and go through them so that you get a general feeling of what the job market is like, especially in your niche, and what they're generally looking for. Soon enough, you will start to get a general feeling of what these employers are looking for in terms of skills, attitudes, and experience, and whatever they would like to see on your CV. As a general rule, for transferable and soft skills, usually employers are looking for leadership, initiative, experience in general, and experience that showed that you went farther beyond, that you put the extra mile in. And not to mention, as I've said, practical skills. Practical skills matter a lot nowadays. So if you're somehow still early in your academic career, maybe year 1 or 2, meaning that you don't need a job as soon as possible, else you become homeless, then don't just focus on uni, focus on getting some practical skills as well. That's a bit harder, I guess, if you're in engineering, unless you go on a placement, but doesn't matter what thing you're studying, do something extracurricular that helps you get inside the industry, get inside and deep. As I've said, it is quite tough out there. Even me with a placement, I have struggled to get a job. So far, I've applied to about or more than 300 jobs and graduate placements and things like that. So it's really just a numbers game. So for example, let's take a look at this job advert, and then we'll take a look at my CV. This is for a marketing graduate, UK contract, 30,000, good price, good salary. You'll want to read the whole job description. By the way, the whole thing. You have to go through it, learn about the company. Anyways, this is just high level information about the company that they're putting through. But as for the role, definitely read this 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, so that you know how to build that CV. Not only this job description, but as I've said, others as well. So you get a general feeling of what these employers are looking for. We can see here, creation and execution of marketing campaigns across digital and traditional channels. E-commerce initiatives. I don't have this kind of thing in my CV or my experience. Contributing to creative production, including photography, graphic design, and social media content. Cool. Video production, concept development to editing and publishing. That's cool, that's nice. Collaborating with teams across the business to maintain brand consistency and messaging. So what does this mean? Communication, teamwork, branding, and marketing messaging. Market research and competitor analysis to support campaign planning. So yeah, this is just research of the outside environment. I thought maybe this would be analytics. What they're looking for, as we can take a proper gander here, these are mostly soft skills they're looking for. So you'll probably be exteriorizing these through the language in your cover letter, unless they ask for more clarifications on their website once you start applying, and they maybe ask some questions that you have to write lengthy answers to. Proactive approach with attention to detail, so that means initiative. Good communication and teamwork skills, each employer asks for that. Creative mindset with the ability to generate and develop engaging ideas. So again, I think the initiative and creativity in ideas, innovation as well. If you can prove that you've done something that's innovative, that's strong. Ambition, enthusiasm, and energy. Genuine interest in marketing and creative production. It's fine if you've done a marketing degree or master's, but if you haven't, then I guess you can show that genuine interest through extracurricular stuff you've done. Maybe they have the opportunity to show a portfolio. Proactive approach and attention to detail. Lots of employers ask for attention to detail nowadays. Basic understanding of marketing principles and digital platforms, desirable but not essential. And then experience with Adobe video editing or content creation, a plus but not required. For skills such as video editing, you could easily get a CapCut Pro and start doing some of your projects in there. Maybe draw some inspirations from edits that are already on the platform that you can perhaps copy and create a small portfolio, and then you can say that, oh look, I also have some experiences with the video editing, especially if it's a bit more hyper editing style. They'll say, oh wow, what is this? That's amazing. Yeah, cool. So after this, let's go straight to my CV and see how everything, almost everything at least, that was within that job description matches with my CV. So at the top, I'll just explain the structure. You first want to put your education, then your experience, relevant experience, and then other work experience. And at the last bit, just some additional skills which may be or may not be related to the job description. Most of the times, you will show these skills in the academic, in the education part, or in the work experience part. So let's get a quick run through. I've done marketing. That's pretty good. I have marketing management, consumer behavior, contemporary brandscapes, which is branding, something that they need. Marketing analytics, which is more data-driven. Marketing communications, which they need. Project management, which I left that there because it signals that I'm an organized person. I've studied something that needs order, right? Cool. Coventry University, always put the most relevant modules first. So in this case, I put my marketing module, which was kind of a combination, but still, and then some other stuff, they don't matter. My education in Romania, and then awards. If you've had some outstanding performance during your academic career, definitely highlight them out. I don't know if they make a difference or not, but if it's amazing, something amazing, it will definitely make a difference. So for example, second place in a competition, that's kind of big. It's not first place, but still. Bath Excellent Scholarship for outstanding academic performance. That sounds really pompous. That sounds really, really strong. Really strong words used there. So if you have something like this, definitely put it in. Digital Bootcamp Certificate. This is a big, probably employers won't know what this is. And yeah, probably I should develop on that more. Write some more details about what that is. Cool, relevant experience. This is where we're going into what you've done work-wise or extracurricular or voluntary wise that you've done in the past. Start with the most relevant. No, don't start with the most relevant first. Start with the most recent first and work your way down towards the oldest. That's the order. I've done it the other way around and it was not good before. Here I talked about an experience that me and a friend of mine had while we had like a small business. We tried to do something and we mostly did marketing, like content production. We were sharing reels and other marketing deliverables on the page, and we were trying to build our community and the client base like that. At the end of it, I included results. Always at the end of all of your experiences, if they can be quantifiable, include that number. But yeah, I left this in because it's highly relevant to marketing. But if it's not really relevant and it was a business, I would recommend not having it there. Why? Because employers might think that if you've had a business in the past, you might work towards another business, right? Or at least that will warrant an extra question during your interview process, like, oh, are you interested in having another business? And I'll tell you how to respond to that, but later in another episode. So keep watching. Cool. I would leave that out if it's not relevant to the job experience, to the job posting, right? Cool. Then here's my placement. You will see that for all of my work experience within these jobs that I've had, I've always put them as having multiple roles. Charity team leader, awareness campaign executive, social media manager, and creator. Why did I do so? Because it brings attention, especially because it's highlighted, like you see it's bolded. It brings attention to that employer, seeing that I can do multiple roles, and then I provided a short description of what I've done as part of that role. So why was I a leader? Well, I did lead and direct and coordinated the efforts of a team. So I was more of a project manager as well, but I was leading them in that direction, right? Then awareness campaign executive. I was responsible with talking with Windsor Christian Action, and I was also responsible with designing the awareness ideas. So lots of awareness and event ideas that we had to then flesh out and then delegate the work to be made into something real, right? Cool. D&I project leader, data analysis, project leader, again, business change. I've left these towards the end. Why? Because they're not as relevant to the job description. Again, all the marketing stuff that I've done, social media manager and creator, written content creator, all of that is more to the top. Because, I don't know, man, I think that people have less and less of an attention span, and the less you go down the page, especially if it's so kicked up like mine, they lose attention. Again, at the end, have quantifiable achievements. So cost savings, and highlight them. If you've had significant cost savings, highlight them. If you've increased some employees, some significant scores, definitely bring attention to that. Raised £1,500 as part of fundraising, increase social media management by 20%. Here's my tip. If it's a small page and like 600 followers or something, like it was my case, don't say the number of followers, say the percentage that you've increased that page's social media following by. The employers will kind of think the same, especially if they are, if somebody who is within the creative industry is looking at your CV, but at least it looks good, right? A percentage is sometimes better than a number, unless you've managed to do something by the order of millions or tens of thousands. Even sometimes thousands is good for corporations, right? Cool. So that was all. Then go into other work experience. If you highlight that you've worked while completing your studies, that might signal to your employer that you are good at managing your time. And that also shows that you can go the extra mile, that you can handle a lot of stuff at the same time. Towards the end, again, additional skills that are relevant, experience in R coding. This is more for market analytics. Adobe, Photoshop, Lightroom, Premiere Pro, CapCut. So just these are relevant. These are relevant to my experience, to the job description. So I probably should put them somewhere up. But yeah, sometimes employers want to know that you're good with these. You have a basis of skills that make you hireable. This is where you should put them. So for example, the teamwork or attention to details or things like that. I'm on the fence whether you should put them there or not, because it's self-implied that people nowadays own those skills, right? Anybody can put those right there. You should show those through the experiences that you've had. You should show that you have teamwork experience, initiative, leadership, so on and so forth, attention to detail on the above areas and your relevant work experience. Cool. Mention your driving license, mention the languages you know, and yeah, also mention you're proficient in Office. Everybody's a proficient in Office. As for the things I did not have the chance to cover within my CV or to properly go into detail, I will be talking about them in my cover letter. The number one tip for cover letters is to tailor them. If you don't want to extra tailor your CV, at least do so for your cover letters. You will always be changing them. Either that be by changing the job role at the top, you'll soon enough see job role at the top, or certain experiences within your body, or the company name at the bottom. The cover letter is your biggest opportunity to talk about your best working, volunteering, extracurricular, anything experience in greater detail, what you've learned, and what results you brought, as long as they are relevant to the job description. And B, go into detail with any other experience or skill that you had or developed that is relevant to the job description, which would ultimately aid your CV. Regardless of A or B, use the amount of space you're given in an efficient way, talking about your skills and experiences, talking about your experiences that kind of intertwines those skills together. Cool, so let's take a look at an example of a cover letter that I just made for the opportunity that we've seen earlier in the video. To be fair, I didn't modify it that much compared to my already existing cover letters, because as I've told you, I kind of made it general to these graduate marketing programs so that it encompasses kind of everything they would like to see. Cool. So while I was talking here in this paragraph about managing social media accounts, I did not only mention how I've done that, but also how I have developed strategies to increase engagement, creating posts with consistent and distinguishable style, and engaging reels and stories. Not only social media management, but also I have emphasized some interpersonal skills as well. Good communication and interpersonal capabilities, as I often had to talk with the graduate HR manager who was responsible with that page. At the end, after you talk about a certain experience, always mention a result. Yeah, it's also in my CV, but you need to mention it. They need to see something quantifiable, because if you don't, they won't know how big of an impact you've brought. Then I've done something else as part of my experience. So I have not only been a campaign executive where I was creating all of these ideas for fundraising events and fundraising posts, but also been a project manager. So here I also emphasize the fact of being an organized person, being able to work within a team, and also being able to make a direction and direct those people towards the same goal. Now, something that was not present in my cover letter was this number 2 tip that I'm giving you about writing your cover letter. At the end of your cover letter, oh my god, take a shot every time you say cover letter. At the end of it, the last paragraph should be about how much you want to work for that company. Okay, stay with me on that because it's not really about ass kissing, more or less, but you can do it in a unique way. So in your final paragraph, I recommend you write a reason of why you want to be there. Just go on their news page and search up a time when they were awarded something, most likely a performance award. After you see that, it becomes easier for you to kind of automate this process across multiple companies because you don't want to rewrite your cover letter from top to bottom every single time, right? Because every time you could create a paragraph that goes something like, through this recent award or achievement, the company has demonstrated unmet professionalism and mastery over their craft, which is something that inspires me to join and work towards your mission. Either something that links to their performance or something that links to how they treat their employees. For example, many of these companies are being awarded Employee of the Year award or something like that, or an award that's similar to that thing. You could say that you were really impressed by them getting that award and how that shows yada yada yada. It shows something, and because it shows you that, it motivates you to work at that company because that kind of environment will allow you to thrive and achieve your best performance. If you do this, even though sometimes I do not, because it requires a lot of customization and you're kind of wasting a bit of time, especially when you're applying to tens of jobs every day. It will show that you're putting more effort than the others. It places you above the others for sure, and it will increase your chances on getting to the next step of the recruitment process, which is usually a test that you have to do online. And that's something we will be talking about in the next episode. These tests are pretty easy to do, and they'll be even easier for you to do after you'll see my video, because I think I've done hundreds of them. Yeah, I must have done hundreds of them. I really like them. But yeah, that was all for today. I hope this advice will help you get through that first grueling process of the recruitment, that first grueling phase of the recruitment process, which is writing a CV, writing a cover letter, and applying to many jobs with those that you've written over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah, that was it. Goodbye, lol.